Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you share, articles, notes, research, and really dig in to find those surprising insights, the crucial perspectives that help you get genuinely well informed. Today, though, our deep dive is, well, it's a little different. We're looking at something really common, I think, but maybe not often talked about, that feeling of being lost in life. So this one is quite personal. It's really about you and a journey, well, a lot of us have been on.
Exactly. And the goal here isn't some kind of lecture, not at all.
Right.
Think of it more like we're just having a chat, sharing things we really wish we'd known when we were feeling that way ourselves. We've looked at the material you sent, pulled up the core ideas, hoping to give some clarity, but, without making it overwhelming.
Okay, so maybe just take a breath, settle in for this. We're starting with a really powerful thought from the sources, something to maybe hold on to as we go. What if feeling lost isn't the end of your story, but the turning point?
That's good.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. That feeling,
Yeah.
have you ever felt kind of stuck in the mud maybe, or just on autopilot,
Oh, yeah.
where, on the outside, everything looks fine. You've got the stable job, the routine, you're smiling, having normal conversations.
Right. Looks perfect.
But inside, something just feels off, deeply off, like your heart's not really in it, and you're sort of watching yourself live.
That disconnect, that internal friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. The material actually calls that a crossroads moment.
A crossroads moment. Okay.
Yeah, and there's this anecdote about Evan from the sources. He talks about sitting in his car, just staring at the steering wheel before work. His job was good on paper, secure, decent hours, good team. But in that quiet moment, he just had this thought pop up. Is this it? Is this really how the next 10 years are going to feel?
Wow.
And that discomfort, he said later, that was the real wake-up call. It made him actually finally listen to himself.
And then there's Erin's analogy in there too, which I found really powerful. She said it felt like walking through a huge maze.
Yes. Constantly confused.
Right. Asking, am I doing the right thing? Is this really my path, or just, the one I kind of stumbled onto? And the really isolating part for her was feeling like everyone else had these maps.
Yeah, like they knew where they were going.
And she had nothing. But here's where it gets really interesting, according to the sources. That pain, that confusion, it's not a sign you failed.
No, quite the opposite, actually.
It could be this incredibly powerful catalyst. It kicks off that deeper search for clarity. It starts that big work of figuring out a new direction.
It really does.
It's quite something when you look at the sources, how often people get, of course, not because they made terrible choices necessarily.
Well, not always big mistakes.
But because they were listening to, well, too many voices.
Yeah.
Except our own.
Yeah.
Parents' expectations, what teachers suggested, advice from friends, even just opinions you see online scrolling through your phone.
Oh, definitely. All that noise.
It all shapes this idea of what we should be doing.
Right.
Instead of what actually feels right deep down.
And that brings up that great metaphor from the sources, the inner compass.
Yeah, I like that.
Your gut feeling, your intuition, that sort of inner knowing. The material points out that if that compass is off by just a few degrees.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Over time, that can lead you miles away from where you were really meant to go. You end up on a path that looks safe, maybe.
Socially approved.
Exactly. It gets you praise, maybe, but it just doesn't feel good inside. There's that constant low-level friction, that mismatch.
And Erin's story really highlights that, doesn't it? Picking that college major because it sounded impressive.
Right. A clear career path attached.
But then years down the line, she felt no passion, just a lot of confusion and regret. really makes you stop and ask yourself, like the sources push us to, are you doing this thing, whatever it is for you, because you want to, or just because you think you're supposed to?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We seem hardwired to want plans, answers, control.
Definitely. Certainty feels safe.
But what if? What if that urge is actually holding us back sometimes? The sources float this idea. Uncertainty isn't always a bad thing. In fact, it can be a gift.
Which sounds completely counterintuitive at first.
It does. So what does that actually mean? And
Yeah.
how can uncertainty be a gift when you're feeling lost?
Well, the way the material explains it, uncertainty creates space.
Delays.
Yeah, like breathing room, time to think, to explore, to figure out what actually matters to you, maybe in ways you couldn't have planned for.
Okay.
Think about Evan's story again. When he quit his job, he had no plan B.
Which sounds terrifying to most people.
Absolutely. People around him were probably quite worried. But those next few months, they weren't empty. He read a lot, he rested, he walked, he started learning things just because he was curious.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly, organically, out of that period of not knowing, a new direction started to form, built on things he rediscovered about himself.
So it's that in-between space.
Mm-hmm.
The space between the old and the new, as the sources put it. That's where the magic happens.
That's the idea. It fosters curiosity. New experiences pop up.
Yeah.
So the advice seems to be, if you're in that uncertain place right now, don't fight it too hard.
Okay.
Just try to stay open, stay curious, and maybe trust that something new is unfolding, even if you can't see the final shape yet.
All right. So if we're in that space, that uncertain space, the next step the sources suggest is looking inward.
Exactly. Moving past the to-do lists for a minute, past what everyone else expects, and trying to connect with what really matters to you, which sounds simple, but how do you actually do that, especially when life is noisy?
Yeah, good question.
The material really focuses here on identifying your core values. And these aren't like complicated philosophical ideas. They're called simple truths, the basic things that genuinely make you feel alive, that guide you. Maybe it's family, maybe it's freedom or learning or kindness or health, those fundamentals.
Okay, those simple truths.
And the sources suggest that a big reason we feel lost is often because we've sort of walked away from these values without realizing it.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like a big dramatic rejection.
No, usually not. More like a slow drift. You just get busy, distracted.
Right. And Erin's example again.
Mm-hmm.
She got so caught up in being productive, achieving things,
Climbing the ladder.
that she stopped doing the things that actually made her feel like her, like writing or just having those deep talks with friends.
Yeah.
And she realized she'd drifted from what made me, lost that sense of self.
Exactly. So what does this mean for you listening? It means taking that time to reconnect with your own simple truths, your values. That can fundamentally shift your internal compass.
And then the direction you choose starts to feel, well, true to your heart.
Precisely.
Okay, so once you start getting clearer on those values, the sources talk about actually making changes.
Yeah.
Here's another counterintuitive bit. Big change doesn't happen all at once.
No, it happens through tiny goals.
Tiny goals, which feels almost too small sometimes, doesn't it? We want the grand gesture, the big leap.
We really do. But the examples in the material are so practical. Evan's goals were things like, just write one sentence today.
One sentence.
Or just take a 10-minute walk. And Erin's was even smaller sometimes. Just get out of bed and drink water.
Wow, okay.
And she said that one small thing gave her a feeling of progress. And that little bit of progress, no matter how tiny, builds momentum.
It's like building confidence back, one little brick at a time.
Exactly that. Rebuilding that sense of, okay, I can do something.
Yeah. Well, we often think change has to be this huge, dramatic thing. But honestly, based on this, it sounds like it's the small wins, those tiny steps done consistently.
Step by step, day by day.
That's what moves us forward. So the advice really seems to be, if you feel stuck, don't wait for some massive lightning bolt. Just what's one small, easy win you can give yourself today.
Start there. Let that build.
Right. But even when you are taking those steps, some days are just hard. Really hard.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a straight line up.
No. And that's where the sources really emphasize the importance of having people around you, a support system.
So crucial. Erin shares that story, remember, about finally talking to a friend when she felt completely lost.
Taking that vulnerable step.
Yeah. And the key thing was, she said, he didn't try to fix me. He just listened.
Ah, that's huge.
It made her feel seen, validated. Just knowing someone else understood, even without offering solutions, made a massive difference. It broke that isolation.
That feeling that you're the only one without the map.
Exactly. And the sources point out this isn't just about one best friend. It could be mentors, teachers, maybe even online groups where people get it.
Right. Finding your people.
And sharing your journey, even in small ways, also builds this sense of accountability, not in a heavy way, but more like
someone's rooting for you.
Yeah. You show up partly for yourself, but also because you know someone else believes you can. And the message is clear. You're not weak for needing support.
Yeah.
You're actually strong for reaching out and taking that step.
Okay. So you take these steps, you lean on support.
Yeah.
And then you celebrate. Right. But maybe not just the big finish lines.
That's a really key point in the material. We tend to wait for the huge goal to feel proud.
Yeah, the graduation, the new job, whatever.
But what about celebrating the tiny victories, the quiet moments where you just kept going even when it was tough? What's the value in that?
Oh, what is the value?
What's fascinating here is this specific idea Evan used, the Lost and Found journal.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
It was super simple. On one side, he'd quickly jot down when he felt stuck or confused, like felt totally unsure about direction today.
Okay.
And right next to it, on the other side, he'd note what he actually learned or found in that moment of feeling lost. Maybe it was patience, maybe it was clarity about what he didn't want.
Oh, okay. So it's actively reframing it.
Exactly. Looking back, he realized he wasn't just lost, he was actually growing. It completely changes the narrative from failure to, well, learning, discovery.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
That shifts the whole perspective.
Yeah.
So the deeper meaning here is, even when life feels messy, chaotic.
It's still your journey.
Right. The detours, the wrong turns, they're not mistakes to regret. They actually teach you things.
And make you wiser, more human.
So maybe, for everyone listening, think about a time you felt really lost, adrift, and then ask yourself, looking back now, what did I find there? Maybe you found patience you didn't know you had. Maybe you found a friend you wouldn't have met otherwise. Or maybe you just found the courage to start over, to begin again.
Yeah. Finding something in the lost.
Well, we really hope that in this deep dive today, you found something useful. Maybe a new thought or a bit of a shift in how you see things.
Or maybe just that feeling that, you're not alone in experiencing this stuff.
Definitely not alone.
And just remember, whether you feel lost right now or you're in the middle of finding your way, or maybe you're on a path that feels right, just showing up for yourself, thinking about this, that counts. It really does.
So here's a final thought to maybe take with you, building on everything we've discussed. What small, imperfect action can you take today, maybe even right now, to honor the wisdom you gained from a past lost moment acknowledging that it was actually a really important part of your unique journey.
Some things to mull over.
Indeed. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And most importantly,
Keep being kind to yourself. Really kind.